Blue Topaz is uh, something that I'm using quite a bit. It's coming up a lot for people that I work with, um, and it's really, really helpful for young children and these children that were giving certain labels like the rainbow children, the crystal children, um, but just the young ones that are coming in and they have this amazing sort of direct connection to source. Uh, it's the difficulty for them is trying to figure out our educational system and some of the things that they find in their environment. But I'm going to be pitching the information to more to the adults, and so if you look at yeah, with the chaos, the political, the social, the economic stuff that's going on, and a lot of us try to keep up with that mentally. We try to make sense of it, and especially if you're watching the news. Um, you might need to take Blue Topaz if you're watching the news because there's a lot of information that's coming out that doesn't really help to dissipate the confusion. It's more just reporting on the confusion. So Blue Topaz is helping to organize how we think, how our mental processes work. It's helping to increase our mental clarity. So in a sense, taking this and working with it is like going to a place in the forest where there's a waterfall and just feeling that cleansing energy and that refreshing energy come through your mind and your mental body. It's so soothing and uh, helping to carry away sort of excess mental energy, thought forms, what have you. And when that happens, then the focus and the effectiveness improve. So we want to focus on what we want to focus on with our minds and our mental capacity. We also want to uh, let go of resistance, which I think might be fair to say the older a person gets, they get a little bit of mental resistance because they've found things that work and maybe they're a little bit closed to learning new ways. One of the things that this gem does is it helps us open to new ways of thinking, new ways of solving problems. And that opening is not to wrestle it to the ground. The opening is to tune in and to attune and to move into an intuitive place and say, okay, well, I'm open to a new way of looking at this situation in my life. And then just being as quiet as possible and allowing that new way to drop in. So it is part of increasing our mental capacity and our flexibility is learning how to integrate the mental, the rational, with the intuitive. Because at a higher level, they're not separate. They're both the same. So we have learned how to separate them out and then find ourselves getting very mental about things. And this is saying, no, let's just relax a little bit, allow for new information to come in from our higher selves and from the universal mind, if you will. But we're wanting to, I'm wanting to emphasize that this essence for a lot of people is just to clear the confusion, have some, create some mental space, and be able to look at the current situations that we find ourselves in and the situation in the world without being overwhelmed by it or intimidated by it, but just saying, oh, I feel pretty clear. I will just work on my own personal focus here. And yeah, so Helen asked the question, can this essence help with general stress due to a noisy mind? And that's exactly what I'm saying. Um, maybe first thing in the morning, the mind's quiet because we've been sleeping, we've sort of gone offline for a while. And then we immediately, many of us will, maybe after coffee and breakfast, look at the to-do list. Oh, okay, so the mind then gets engaged and gets busy. The point of Blue Topaz is that you don't really need to do that. You can learn a different mental stance, a different posture to take that says, okay, well, I can use my mind when I want to and when I need to figure something out or whatever. But I'm going to stay throughout the day in a more open way of allowing support to come in, new information to come in, and taking this out to a nice conclusion. I'm not stressing myself out as much because at the end of the day, it's all stuff we do to ourselves. So uh, just to add a little bit, um, if you have children or you're working with children that are trying to do the opposite, they're coming from this place of being connected to source, and they're needing to figure out how am I going to, do this homework? How am I going to do well in school that has a educational system that, in my personal opinion, is old and outmoded? Blue Topaz also works in that way. It helps them focus on what they need to focus on to do, um, to do the work that they need to do. They've got to get through the system. The educational system in the world is changing slowly, but these young beings are coming in, and they're sort of impatient. Um, we have some, not with obsessive compulsive disorder, but with learning disabilities, um, uh, deficit disorder, adults, deficit disorder, deficit of attention deficit disorder is what I'm trying to say here. Maybe I need to take some of this. And we have a formula called easy learning, which I'm using in all my workshops now. And so, yes, I mean, we can be in contact with people if they want to know that research, but we're using it as a part of the group of essences that we would suggest for any learning disabilities or learning difficulties that people have, people of any age.